Today's story is about Brian, an animal keeper whose life took a dramatic turn on a fateful day. In a remote area of Africa far from civilization, he faced a threatening situation with a helpless lion cub. This little lion cub would not only change Brian's life, but also the fate of an entire species. It was a hot, oppressive day when Brian found the frightened and starving cub. Behind this innocent creature lurked a terrible danger. People who wanted to keep the lion as an exotic pet, but they had no idea how to care for the wild animal. The cub was starving, and its eyes reflected desperation. Brian knew he had to act immediately to save this lion's life. He could not allow the majestic animal to fall into the hands of inexperienced keepers who could not care for it properly. Otherwise, the young lion would probably not have survived for many days. Determined and courageous, Brian decided to save the tiny cub. He took it to a sanctuary for wild animals where he lovingly cared for the ball of fur and named it Chiara. This name carried special meaning because it could mean God's precious light or bright in various languages. Exactly what Chiara became for Brian. She was his light and the bright spot in his life. Brian saw himself as her adoptive father and sacrificially cared for her well-being. But the challenges did not stop. Chiara was getting older, and it was becoming increasingly obvious that she needed more space and an environment that the sanctuary could not provide. Brian was faced with the difficult decision of how to ensure that Chiara could live a full life as a lion. Finally, he found a solution that brought both hope and heartbreak. He discovered the Black Jaguar and White Tiger Foundation in Mexico City, which was willing to take Chiara in. For Chiara, this meant a chance at a life she could never have had in the sanctuary. But there was a painful price. She would live far away from Brian, and he would rarely be able to visit her. After a long period of separation, Brian finally had the means and the time to visit Chiara. But the question was, would Chiara recognize him? Would the years of separation have destroyed their bond? The moment of reunion was one of tension and uncertainty. Chiara's eyes met Brian's, and a moment of silence hung in the air. What happened next was beyond all expectations. The love and bond between Brian and Chiara proved stronger than the years of separation. Chiara immediately recognized Brian and rushed toward him, her huge paws tenderly embracing him as if he were once again the adoptive father she had never forgotten. This emotional reunion touched the hearts not only of Brian and Chiara, but also of everyone who witnessed this extraordinary moment. The story of Chiara and Brian teaches us that true bonds survive even the harshest tests of time. It is a story of love, courage, and the unbreakable bond between man and beast that never fades. Media, show a female lion. If this story has captivated you as much as it has us, show it by giving the video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. You'll want to learn more about Brian and Chiara's adventures.